You can do that. Looks like.
I'm doing this in platforms.
I get it. Yeah, I know it's complicated.
Just
all right. So. Okay. So ready?
Yeah.
Try it one more time.
Yeah.
And see if we can get it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You look cool.
Almost. You almost got it.
I got the flair. You know, just put the face on.
There you go.
Am I doing it? I'm not.
That's
I feel
close.
like I'm not doing it.
It's
this
very
does not
close.
feel cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I'm kicking cigarette butts. Oh God. Look at this.
Moin, ich bin Jule von Neon.de und habe vor kurzem Aloe Blacc zum Interview getroffen. Wir haben zusammen ein bisschen über seine aktuelle Single Brooklyn in the Summer gesprochen, über seine schon recht lange Karriere und auch ein bisschen über den Tod von Avicii. Und es ist auf jeden Fall super spannend geworden. Ich hoffe, das seht ihr genauso und wir sehen uns am Ende vom Video nochmal wieder. Hi. It's super great to meet you. Thank you for meeting us. Especially since I heard you flew in this morning.
Yep, just got in today.
I hope you're not too jet lagged to do this.
I think I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'll take a nap after.
You haven't had a nap yet?
Not yet.
What are they doing to you? They're not treating you right. Okay, so you just brought out your new single, Brooklyn in the Summer.
Yeah.
And obviously we haven't really heard anything from you music-wise in 4 years now. How come?
Yeah, in 4 years, I've been spending a lot of time writing, just creating music, but also being a family man. You know, I have 2 little kids. 4 years ago, I had a girl, and 2 years ago, I had a boy, and we've been spending quality family time, you know.
That's awesome. And I bet that's actually quite rare in your field, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the pace of the music business sometimes is very, very tough, but, you know, if you have the ability, you take some time, spend with family, you know, and I had a chance to also focus on a couple of things, investing in some tech and developing products.
That's exciting.
Getting involved in creating ideas for film and TV, writing a short and producing it, and I just staying creative, really.
We were thinking, because I mean, obviously streaming, you've been making music for a very, very long time, and streaming has really changed the music business. It's also changed how music is being released and at what pace music is being released.
Yeah.
And now you took these 4 years. Do you feel like it's changed your way of work? Are you kind of trying to juxtapose that whole fast movement of it all and just going, nope, I'm going to do this at my own pace? Or is it, does that affect you as well?
I mean, I didn't think about streaming in terms of how I create my music. I just want to make the best song. I think people still want to hear amazing compositions that will affect their hearts and give them a reason to feel comfort or to celebrate or to commiserate. And that's my job. And I think the system of streaming definitely affects it in a certain way, but it doesn't affect how I make the music when I get in the studio or the songs that I write. It may affect what songs I release, because some might feel better than others in terms of competition in the marketplace. But then, you know, then there are the songs that it doesn't matter what the competition is. This is the story to tell right now, and this is the story that I think is the best story to tell for where I am in my career. And I haven't done, you know, a big love song. I do aspirational songs. I do motivation. I do inspiration. I've never done, you know, a big breakup song, and this is one of the big ones. I think the last time I got even close to this was something like "Loving You Is Killing Me," and but I think "Brooklyn in the Summer" is probably going to be much bigger.
I mean, Brooklyn in the Summer is part of an album that is being released sometime in the future. And I know there aren't many details out about it now. Is there anything that you would like to tell us or people about what it's going to be like?
Yeah, I think my process is to get in the studio and just write. and record and create with no restrictions and kind of no, no real theme that's underlining what I do. I just want to get in the studio and create whatever I feel like that day and that moment. And then when I'm done, after I make 20, 30, 40, 100 songs, then I can go through and kind of decide what the songs will be. And I feel like because I hadn't spent a lot of my artist career working on kind of the love songs or romantic topics, that this particular album could share a little bit more of that, especially because, I've had the experience of falling in love, being married, having kids, being a family man. Some of these things I think I should be able to open up and share with my audience.
Speaking of the way you create songs, obviously, we all know this documentary, True Stories of Avicii, BBC, came out recently, which has obviously had much more of an impact now because of the events. And it showed quite a lot of like the creative process that was behind Wake Me Up, which is a lot more intense, I think, than what people feel like a lot of collaborations between singers and DJs are. Because you actually were in the studio together and made the songs together, and like, what was that kind of collaboration like? Yeah,
it's like the way that I tend to always make music, and I found that really, something that was different about Tim and working with other DJs is where, being in the studio, he was focused on the ideas, he was focused on being part of the creation, and he offered some really good production ideas as well. So it wasn't just a matter of sending a beat across the world in an email and then recording and then sending it back. It was being in the studio and catching a vibe, creating the music, working on the melodies together, and recording together.
That went really well, didn't it?
It's the real way to make music, I think.
Yeah. You've done hip hop, you've done R&B, you've done dance. Like, what kind of genre would you put yourself in? Because I'm finding it really difficult to put you in a genre.
Yeah, I don't know what, I think at this point, I just consider it soul music because it's the music that I feel and it affects my soul. So I hope that it affects everybody else's in a positive way. And rather than put labels on it, I think, you put it in the category of good music rather than not so good music.
The genre of good music, I like that. Who else would be in that for you?
And all the folks that I grew up listening to from on the hip hop side, like Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul and The Far Side, or in soul music, Bill Withers, Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, Nina Simone. In folk or singer-songwriter, it would be like James Taylor, Joni Mitchell, and Elton John. I think there are so many amazing artists, and I tend to lean towards songwriters, the folks that write the lyrics that they sing, rather than just, folks who sing other people's lyrics. But, I still am a big fan of Sinatra, and I'm still a big fan of Sammy Davis Jr. At the end of the day, it's really how their music affects me, and how they tell the story. And so there's the recording artist, and then there's the singer-songwriter, and sometimes they're one and the same. And I can find value in both.
What does the name Lena Meyer-Landrut tell you?
Yeah, Lena reminds me of a time when my career was bubbling in Germany, and I had an opportunity to meet her at a TV show. I think it was Stefan Raab that put us together, and I wrote a song after speaking to her that I think kind of told a story about her experience being in this competition and winning, and then being famous, but nobody really knowing who she was. And I wrote it as a ballad, but in the final production, I think the folks that I was working with wanted to kind of color it as a certain type of song. And so I don't know if it got its best presentation, but I thought it was something that represented her in a really good way.
I mean, she was really young at the time, wasn't she? When she
was
started
very
becoming
young.
famous, she was very young, and it was sort of an overnight thing, like the whole Eurovision Song Contest thing happened, and then boom, there she was. Do you feel like that might be, like, because like your career was like, you know, it had like a nice smooth ride to when it took off, didn't it? You like,
Yeah,
or would you say being a star overnight is actually much more comfy?
No, I wouldn't say being a star overnight is more comfortable. I think living life, having real world experiences, becoming an adult, experiencing life as an adult and understanding where you stand and what your philosophy is, where your place is in the world and what you contribute to the world, is very important. And so I appreciate that, you know, my success came over time, because I can really value the struggle that it took to get here. When I was young, you know, not too much older than Lena when I met her, I was, you know, creating all my own music from scratch. Like I would go into this, not even a studio, just a bedroom with a sampler and with records, and I was writing my own lyrics and working with my DJ. We were making beats, we were recording, we were making the artwork ourselves, and then we were driving to the manufacturers and pressing cassettes or CDs and vinyl, and we were mixing. And you know, once you learn every step of the business on the creative side, it gives you a different kind of value for it. And then when you learn how to sell your own music, you know, back in the day, like getting off stage, holding CDs or holding vinyl and like waiting for people to come and pay you, and feeling the embarrassment of like trying to sell your own music. And now I think it's amazing that we don't have to sell music. You know, you get off stage and people can stream it and then you can make your income. But I think there's also something lost in the essence of believing in yourself so much that you're willing to stand out and tell people that they deserve to buy this music, and you deserve for them to buy this music.
So you think all the artists that are coming up now might be missing the embarrassment?
They miss the embarrassment for sure. I mean, it's a lot more anonymous, and I think a lot less friction in the development, but I think friction is where you know, greatness happens. You need a little bit of tension and a little bit of failure to recognize like how to succeed. Otherwise, you know, you can basically fall flat on your face and really have no bearing for how to get back up. And I can imagine that being, you know, kind of the consequence of the digital era for new artists.
But yeah, might be true. Should we? Okay, basically, here's the thing. We've got a tiny little attack planned on you. It's tiny. So I was watching, the video to "Loving You Is Killing Me" earlier, and I noticed. I mean, you've got a very unique dance style that yet looks very professional. And I noticed that you're doing this one dance move that I've been trying to do for a good, I'm going to say half my life now, and I've never succeeded at it. And I was wondering if you'd be willing to teach me.
It depends. You'd have to show me your attempt.
Okay.
And then I
will embarrass myself like
I
that in front of our audience. I can do that. That's no, yep, sure. I will, hold on. I'm going to have to, okay. This is under my skirt, and I think I've just tucked it around my leg. Nope, there we go. Okay. It's basically, it's this one where you have your hand here, and then you kind of go like, you know which one I mean? You see how badly I'm failing at this and how badly I need help? Yeah.
It's a really cool dance that I think I stole from Michael Jackson.
I think so, maybe too, but also I just really want to learn.
You
Is
want to
there a
learn.
trick?
Is there a trick to it?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop this.
I think so. So what you're trying to do, the most important part of it, is that you're flicking your toe out this way,
Fall flat.
right? No. Keep your balance. Keep your balance. It's just this foot that's going that way.
Okay.
You're flicking that one, and then you're flicking the other one the other way.
Okay. Like that, and then like that.
Yeah, no, kind
Do I
of.
look as cool as him?
Slide your toe. Slide your toe. Slide your toe, and then flick it. It's like you're flicking away a cigarette butt off the ground. That's what we're gonna call it. It's the cigarette butt dance. And then you flick the other one away.
I quit smoking 2 years ago. I'm not sure I can do this.
Okay, it's been a while since you flicked away a cigarette butt. I get it. Okay, and so there's the idea of putting a little bit of rhythm to it and then making it a very regular and comfortable thing. So you just gotta.
But you're moving back. See, you're moving back with it.
I'm probably not moving back on purpose. I'm just trying to. I just don't want to kick you. That's the thing where I was moving back.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the added complication of like
Flair.
what you do with the other foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just gonna have to be a little bit more flair. I'm gonna move back so I don't kick you, and I'm gonna just show you. Okay, so now both feet
You're
are
kicking cigarette butts
moving.
left, right, and center.
The cigarette butts are moving around. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it doesn't require the hand on the belly. It's
But
just
it
something-
does. See, I want to do this.
It's just
all
that's part of the flair, I guess.
Okay. Maybe I can add it later.
Right. And it,
Real slow.
yes, there's a little bit of this dance going on in here too.
Oh, I can do that. Am I doing
You
that?
can do that. Looks
I'm
like.
doing this in platforms.
I get it. Yeah, I know it's complicated.
Just
All right,
appreciate
so
that.
okay. So ready?
Yeah.
Try it one more time.
Yeah.
And see if we can get it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do I look cool?
Almost. You almost got it.
I got the flair. You know, just put the face on.
There you go.
Am I doing it?
The-
I'm not.
That's
I feel like I'm
close.
not doing it.
It's
This
very
does not
close.
feel cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm kicking cigarette butts. Oh God. Look at this.
Well, you did well on
Push
that.
the chair over that. There's definitely not marks for my shoes on the floor. Okay, I need to do this one more time. Can we do it together?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready? Yeah, I'll put my hand here.
Thank you.
Ready?
Is it cool? What are you doing with your head?
You don't have to do anything with your head, but you might have to snap every once in a while.
What do you think? Do I look cool?
She got
Awesome. Thank you.
it.
See, it took me 5 years and a lot of dance partners, and they never taught me. And now I know.
There you go.
Because I'm kicking the butts. No one ever said that before.
Super instant dance.
I think that's all we have, is it?
Yes,
Yes?
we're done.
Thank you so much.
Jo, ich würde mal sagen, wieder was gelernt. Kann ich am Wochenende ja direkt mal austesten. Und genau, wenn ihr mehr solche Videos sehen wollt, dann lasst uns doch bitte gerne ein Like da für den Channel und abonniert uns irgendwo hier unten, da so oder da, möglicherweise. I don't know. Genau, bis zum nächsten Mal.